It's time now for the women's doubles bronze medal match here in Dubai for the World Archery Para Championships of 2022. Let's start with the contest for the bronze before moving on to the matchup between Turkey and RAF for the gold medal. Bronze medal will see Iran take on Great Britain. Athletes welcomed out for this bronze medal match in the women's doubles. Islamic Republic of Iran line up with Farzaneh Asghari and Maryam Shababaki. Great Britain with Jodie Grinham and Phoebe Pine. They've worked their way through the field here to give themselves a chance of contesting the bronze medal. Great Britain there on target number 2. We'll get things underway. A very solid start for Great Britain. A very solid start indeed, both Grinham and Pine in the middle of the target.
I think conditions possibly looking a little bit lighter now, not seeing that wind buffeting the archers on the shooting line, but let's see what happens. I think it could be variable. Just some slight adjustments being made. So these archers might have come off a different field. They've got to come onto this venue. Okay, so the judges just reminding that archer that they're alternating between teams. So in the matches before this, they'd shoot without alternating. Phoebe didn't look happy with their first shot either. Just need to settle into this match.
So a 38, the target set for Iran by Great Britain. That has already become an impossibility. They want to finish solid here. The cumulative score in compound archery. Four nines for his 36. I don't want to get too far away, but the beauty of the accumulative scoring system does mean the Islamic Republic of Iran can get back into this match, but they trail by 2 points after the first end of 4. Nikki Hunt, former world number 1, you've lived these experiences on target ranges of the finals that are very different to what happens beforehand, where you're perhaps on a much wider open field. There does seem to have been a little bit of a wind tunnel effect here.
Yeah, when we qualify and even the matches leading up to these finals matches, like you say, we're on this big open field. You've got lots of indicators of what's happening to the wind, flags and such. Whereas right now we've got a really odd effect going on because we've got a stadium one side, we've got a wall of a marquee on the other, and that can lead to different wind conditions. Sometimes tunnelling, like you say, through the venue. But it does seem to have died down a little bit. That the archers just got to, make sure they're observing and seeing what's going on.
Well, Great Britain lead the line. Perhaps most impressive is Jodie Grimman for Great Britain, but it will be Iran to shoot first in this second end, trailing by 2. They'll want to get back in line at least with Great Britain in this second end. Again, more little adjustments.
Still not looking quite happy with those shots. The coach there, Andrea Gales, in the background, just giving her that encouragement she needs. Just outside for Jodie on that occasion. Group in, just needs to bring that across as she does that, moving the sight.
Pine using a lot of her time there. Finishing with a 9. So we have a provisional 73, place 73. I wonder if one of the arrows from Iran is going to have a little look at that. 8-9 was pretty close. Nikki, quality of the match started very, very high and just dipped off again. Are we seeing a little bit of tension and pressure? I think even time pressure was came into play for both teams there.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake here. This is whether you get to stand on the podium or not at this World Championships. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be pressure for these teams. They've just got to stick to their processes, do their normal things. See the coaches come across now. Great Britain there having a good laugh, and that's right. You want to relax between these ends before you refocus and get back into the match. And we should talk about as well, this is the first time we've seen this women's doubles event. It's changed from the team round. We used to have 3 archers on each team, which has made this event much more accessible to many more countries who have got 2 athletes of the same gender here at this championships.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute because that is an important change in para archery. We have a great contest here though. At the halfway stage, Iran tied up with Great Britain on 73 apiece. Iran getting their second arrow marked up in the second end. So we go back to the Grinham Pine duo for Great Britain. It's a 2-end match. She wasn't happy with that one. She made an apology straight away.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a bit of a left to right crosswind going on. Great Britain suffering a bit with that, but Iran straight in the 10 there, no problems. On that shot you could just see, just as it went off, a little lift from the front arm. I think she knew it was going to be low, perhaps it aimed a little bit low, tried to make it a little adjustment, but just not enough. Into the 10, but still not quite comfortable. Phoebe needs to settle down in this match. You know, she's a great archer, coming off the back of that win in Tokyo.
So 110 set by Great Britain. Lovely shot there. So a 10 to keep things all square going into the final end. Bit of pressure here on Shababaki. Just drifting up into the 9, perhaps a correction there, an overcorrection for the last arrow she shot. But there is only 1 point in this now. 109 plays 110, subject to confirmation from the target score, target judge. But Nikki, it's interesting, isn't it? There's just little minor changes all the time, and in particularly on the Great Britain side, they're shooting 10s and they're still making those tiny adjustments.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Where the arrow goes isn't always necessarily, you know, as an archer you kind of know, you get a feeling for what you were aiming at, how that shot felt, and even if it gets a 10 you might think, well, I actually was aiming off a bit on one side, so you make that adjustment. So it's very much about the feeling of these shots as well.
Well, we get a view of the digital windsock in the middle of the scoreboard, in the middle of the range. And it is changeable. I think that's the best way of describing it. It's blowing in one direction, as you said, Nikki, right to left, but sometimes it's up over 1 meter per second. Other times it's right down to 0.
Yeah, and that's a real big deal, you know, because if you've got a nice little constant wind, you can just make that sight adjustment and get on with it. If it is variable, you've got to actually aim off sometimes and sometimes aim in the middle, so being really alert to those conditions.
Well, there definitely will be need to be alert to the conditions here. This for the women's doubles bronze medal here in Dubai at the 2022 World Archery Para Championships. Islamic Republic of Iran trailing Great Britain by a single point. 4 arrows bronze medal. There is a little pressure from Iran. There's a lot of pressure from Iran.
As an archer now, you just, you know, got to put that out of your mind. If you were aware of what your opponent did, doesn't matter. Stay in your own brain, your own process. The best shot of the match so far from Phoebe, looked much more relaxed. Quite a long hold. Got to make that shot in time.
Well, there's chances here for Great Britain. I think those last 2 arrows from Iran may both need to be measured. Certainly the third one. Now that 10 takes a little bit of pressure off. I think a 9 might be enough here. It might be, but a 10 will put it out of reach. Now where's that? That's right on the line. I think that is a 9 for a 148. Now we have to wait here. We can't call this one just yet because the last 2 arrows from Iran, well, the third one could be 8 or 9. The fourth one could be 9 or 10. Nikki, any thoughts? You going to sit on the fence today?
I think I am going to sit on the fence. I think I think they're going to be 148 each, and I think we're going to go to a shoot-off, but I just can't call it.
I think this could be 147 for Iran, as our scoreboard says. The music in the venue just covering off the sounds of our target judges. Didn't quite get the score there. We are going to get a reaction here from the line judge. Oh, and that signal looks like it might well be level. Well, looks like the target faces have been cleaned and we have got a tied score. You were bang on, Nikki. 148 plays 148. So we're putting new target faces up. It's a shoot-off. You love a shoot-off, Nikki Hunt.
Oh yes, best bit of the match. So we've got 1 out each. Each of these archers, we're going to alternate teams as well. And then it's going to go down to the score first of all. And if they tie on score, then it'll be closest arrow to the centre.
So this for the bronze medal in the women's doubles here in Dubai.
Got to pick your best arrows.
Well, they've come through the regulation at 4 ends. Nothing between the two teams. So we go down to a 4 arrow shoot off. Deep breath there from the Iranians. Great Britain trying to stay relaxed. Phoebe Pine first up.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Brilliant start from Great Britain. Over to Archery. Well, it's still a 10, but if we do come down to that measure, Great Britain have a mini advantage at the moment. So 10 will do it here for the Islamic Republic of Iran. Shababaki with this medal in her hands. It's in the 10, and that is gold. Well, sorry, that's bronze there for Iran. Great Britain look on. It was so close. It was a great first arrow from Great Britain and Phoebe Pine, but the 9 from Jodie Grinham opened the door. But it's not just about when the opportunity presents itself in sport, it's when it is taken, and Maryam Shababaki has taken it for Iran in the shoot-off. Wasn't that? Archery and Maryam Shababaki of Iran taking bronze in the women's doubles here at the 2022 World Archery Para Championships here in Dubai. Interesting matchup, that one, Nikki. Great Britain looked like they had it in their hands, but it wasn't a bad last end from them either, but Iran did enough to force the shoot-off.
Yeah, I mean, Great Britain led for 2 of those 4 ends, and they looked strong throughout, but like you say, just dropped that 1 point more than Iran on the last to take it to that tie break. And fantastic shooting from Iran, 2 10s under that kind of pressure to get your feet on that podium.